Hello everyone and welcome back to High Caliber Haymaker. Today we're going to be reviewing the Smith Wesson Compact 380. Or maybe that's the wrong one. Maybe that's more like it. Little comparison for you. So, the Smith Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. They originally came out with this about 7 years ago and have completely revamped it as far as aesthetics, compact size, weight, recoil. It's basically had a full upgrade. But before we get started in today's video, I wanted to thank all of the support that I've had over the 2 years that I've been doing this. My son is one of my biggest fans, and of course some of his friends are. So today's video is actually going to be dedicated to one of his friends, to Brigham. So Brigham, thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel, and I hope you enjoy today's video on the Smith & Wesson 380 2.0. So probably one of the nicest things about a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 is the original design was fairly compact and small, but at the same time the newer one is even smaller and slimmer. So as far as printing on your body, or as far as concealed carry goes, it actually has been excelled even further as well. So right now I even have the pistol on me. You can probably tell maybe in the video here, but if not, I actually have a sticky holster in my pocket, and that's where this 380 is. Basically does the same print as the size of a cell phone. Easy to pull out or loaded, and it has no snag points built on the frame whatsoever. So that does mean that you don't have a safety. However, you do have a trigger safety, which is pretty predominant. And when we do the breakdown of this video, I will highlight those different areas as well. So I did take some initial shots with this. Feels really good. It's perfectly smooth. I mean, 380 has a significantly less amount of recoil than a 9mm. And even with this being compact, it's not that significant. So we're just going to run through this first magazine. It does come with two. It has a 10-round magazine and a 12-round magazine. And I've already had some issues with the 12-round magazine, but we'll get to that once I actually have that loaded up. So let's just take some initial shots. So as you can see, even with a compact style, there is not a lot of muzzle flip, but that's kind of the perk of having a 380 caliber. So 380 ACP, known for still being lethal when needed to be, but also significantly with less recoil. So the 12-round magazine, which I'll bring up here to the camera, it actually has an extension on it, so you see you actually get some additional grip. The 10-round magazine fits flush with the bottom of the mag well. The 10-round magazine gives you probably another ½ inch of grip. So with it being a compact style, as you can probably see here, my pinky does rest right on there, so it actually is more comfortable. However, with a larger magazine, it is a little more difficult to conceal, so that's just something that needs to be taken into consideration. Also, it is hopefully breaking this firearm in today will, sort this out, but I cannot for the life of me load the 12th round into this magazine. I can get 11 in there, but once I get to the 12th round, even with the special loader I have at home, I cannot get that 12th round in. So I don't know if it has some spring break-in time that needs to be done, or just in general, that's just how the magazine is made. So hopefully running through it a few cycles today while we're doing this review will loosen that up a little bit. I did leave it fully loaded overnight to see if I can get some compression in there. Still couldn't get the 12th round in, so hopefully, like I said, running through its cycle, heating it up a little bit will get it to actually hold the load that it's supposed to. And like I said, so that was 11, but the gun runs flawlessly. And that's kind of like the whole point of self-defense, is you want something compact that you can defend yourself with, but yet still not have a huge print on your body. Fits in a purse, even a wallet or handbag for the ladies. So I think this would definitely be a great conceal or carry option. Definitely the perfect pocket gun, as I showed you earlier. But so far, feels fairly good. And like I said, in the breakdown video, we'll get into a lot of the close-up features that you probably can't see on camera right now. But just what they've done to this firearm to upgrade it from the original Bodyguard series is just absolutely incredible. So I'm going to get loaded back up and then we'll change the angle for you. All right, so we've got both magazines loaded up. Same issue with the 12 rounds, so I've got 11 rounds in there. This is the 10 rounds. As you can see, like I said, this is the flush magazine, so as far as like my hand goes, I can get my middle finger on there, roughly, about half, but my pinky does hang off. So we're about 7 yards again. We're just gonna run through the magazine. This angle is specifically for you to see, you know, some muzzle flip and stuff like that, but very minimal. Go. There's one. And then I'm going to run through the dueling tree on this magazine. We'll do another angle where you can see the dueling tree, but I just want to see if I can run through it without missing here. We do have a U-notch sight on the back, which is also a nice upgrade to it. Miss. Miss. There we go. But also the 380 does not have enough juice to actually turn the target. I think I'm shooting between them, literally. However, the ones that did hit the target did not have enough force to turn them, but that's kind of what you sacrifice with going with 380, is that, you know, you lose some power, but you also gain less felt recoil. So something to keep in mind if this is something that you're considering as an option, as well as getting familiar with the sights. So U-notch is a great addition. However, with it being a deeper cut, it almost gives you a false illusion when you're looking at your front sight. And the way that this one is constructed, again, when we go to the breakdown video, I'll show this to you up close. Typically, if you have a U-notch sight, the front sight fits that U-notch almost perfectly. This one, the U-notch is fairly wide, but the front sight is also very small. So maybe that's what's giving me that room for error. The steel target over here, it's maybe about 1.5 inches to 2 inches between each circle. So I'm hitting between those. So that's probably like the margin of error when it comes to a U-notch being larger than the front dot sight itself. So something to keep in mind. All right, so now we're just going to run through it a little bit. Keep burning this gun up, heating it up to hopefully get these recoil springs where we want them, and simply just keep firing for your viewing pleasure. Also, I'm going to go start with this dueling tree so you can see what I was talking about. So, obviously hit, but does not have enough force to actually move the target. So as far as like being able to actually go through, I mean, it's easy to control, super easy to control. I mean, even the double follow-up shots, I mean, instant, no problem. That was me, that was me. And this is what I was talking about earlier. So this U-notch, I mean, I have this dot right in the middle of the target, but I am hitting to the left. But you can see from the previous shots I just took, I can easily control the firearm. So now we need to analyze, is it operator error, or is it the difference in the size of the U-notch to the front dot sight? So now I'm going to slow down and see if I can get this thing right on it. That's literally it. You have to slow it down when you're trying to do precision, but as far as the type of shot on the large silhouette, with it having such minimal recoil, that second follow-up shot is easy to do. Let's get loaded up again. Go one more time. All right, last mag we're gonna shoot. I've actually moved up to 5 yards to see if we have any difference in the dueling tree. I'm gonna take probably 1 or 2 shots at that, go through here. But I think we get the general idea. It's an easy firearm to control. As far as accuracy goes, I'd probably give it, 4 out of 5. The only complaint I personally have with the firearm is the front dot sight being a little smaller than I would like, and then of course the issue with the magazine. But I just tried loading it up again, same thing, I can only get 11 rounds in it. So we're going to run through one more magazine, then I'll take you back to the house, we'll break this firearm down, I'll show you all the ins and outs of things that they've upgraded, plus all the little things as far as aesthetics go that you can't see probably from there. And then we'll come back, and as we end every video, we'll have a mag dump. Oh, almost. There you have it. So like I said, you can see them hitting them steel targets, but it just doesn't have enough force to really do anything. However, still a very lethal round. Don't let that, you know, dissuade you from exploring this option. Also a very affordable firearm. I don't know if you can tell by the shirt that I'm wearing today where this pistol may have came from. I can't essentially tell you because YouTube doesn't like it, but feel free to zoom in on my shirt to see where you can purchase this for roughly $400. Good deal. All right, guys, so we're going to go back to the house, do the breakdown video, and then we will be back to do our mag dump. All right, guys, so let's get into the breakdown of this pistol. So everything you see here was what I had at the range today. And for a little visual representation for you, this is the 10 rounds of 380 versus 12 rounds of 380. And this is a little bit different ammo, which I've reviewed before, but we're going to get into that here in a little bit. So this is the sticky holster that I was talking about that I had in my pocket. As you can see, it fully covers the trigger, so you don't have any snags. Also, in and out, super easy. So highly recommend grabbing one of these if you're going to do a pocket carry with this pistol. You can put the pistol just itself in your pocket. However, I just like a little bit extra protection just to make sure if I drop anything actually in my pocket that, you know, it doesn't get caught up in here or anything like that. So yeah, great little holster to have. So this is how small it is. I mean, you saw it at the range, but this, I mean, it literally is the size of my hand roughly. So you got my finger right there on the edge, fits in the palm of my hand, literally. So very small, very compact pistol. As far as actually like racking the slide, it is a little tough. But I mean, it does have to have a significant recoil spring in something this compact. So that's just something you're going to have to sacrifice. If someone is a little more sensitive when it comes to racking a firearm, you know, you definitely need to like have them try this out to see if they're going to be able to handle that. Because I mean, imagine, you know, you're in a self-defense situation, excuse me, and you can't even like rack the firearm. You can only get it to about there. That's not going to help you out. So again, but with the slide serrations, does make it fairly easy to do so. Avid shooter should be able to do it no problem. Just someone, if you're going for self-defense, got someone who's recoil sensitive, may not have strong hands, this might not be a good option. But let's get into the details I wanted to kind of highlight. So as you can see, we do have some serrations along the actual frame of the firearm here, kind of like for resting points. It is on both sides. So left and right-handed shooter. The grip is very different from the original 380. It's much deeper, so you can get higher up on the firearm. I did get a little bit of slide bite, but it wasn't like pulling skin. It's just where it just, you know, ran over the top of my hand. Just that little dot right there. But like I said, nothing that really like hurt me in any means. Just maybe had a shot where I just gripped it a little too tight, and the slide came back and just kind of just grazed me a little bit. But nothing I can't handle. As far as breakdown and things like that go, they've also done better with this, so we'll kind of get into that here in a second as well. So this is your 10-round magazine. Like I told you, it was a flush fit onto the bottom of the frame. And then this is our 12-round magazine that I can only fit 11 rounds in. So I'll show you what both of those look like as well up close. So obviously the firearm's unloaded. So that is your flush fit. That's what I would probably recommend to help keep, you know, your conceal as low as possible. If you're going that route, this is what the 12-round magazine looks like. But like I said, you also gain that extra grip to get your pinky on there. I mean, I have what I would consider like average size hands. So, I mean, if someone has a little bit smaller hands, you know, they'll be even a little bit further up. But with that, you know, see you have a significant, well, I wouldn't say, I guess significant, but about a ½ inch more that you would have to conceal. Of course, if this is in your pocket, it is longer this way, so, you know, wider pocket, essentially, versus the flush. So we'll go look at that one more time. And see, this kind of lines up with the edge almost of the holster. So it's kind of more of like a box. So maybe fits a little bit better in that aspect. So we're going to clean this firearm. Fairly easy to take down. I'm going to walk you through it. Typically you see me using carbon killer to clean my guns. Today I'm going to try out this Lucas. I've never used it before, but I've kind of heard some good things. So I'm going to clean it with this, and then I'm going to use this to lubricate afterwards. So let's see how that goes. But first things first, of course, we're going to recheck and make sure the firearm is unloaded, which it is. So rack your slide back, hit your slide lock, and then you're going to drop this little lever here. Then don't let the slide forward. So hold it with some tension, bring it forward. It's going to stop right there. You actually have to pull the trigger to disengage it, and then it'll slide right off. So it does have a dual recoil spring, which I was not surprised to find out because of it being so compact, and all steel, so that's positive. But look how tiny this barrel is. I mean, this is just, that's a tiny barrel. So that is your field strip. That simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and try out these products real quick, and then we will reassemble, and we'll be right back with that. And there you have it, nice and clean. I will say this Lucas cleaning gun cleaner is amazing. Like, I would spray this on and it would just fall off. I mean, just a little black cloud of gunpowder residue on a paper towel. I mean, it was immediate. So I'll definitely continue to use that. So as you can see, there's a little difference as well. I went ahead and loaded the magazines. This is the 10 round magazine, the 12 round. And like I said before, I mean, I am pushing, you can see the strain in my hands probably, as hard as I possibly can. And I can only get the round to go about that far. Like, it is not even halfway. I mean, and you can see here on the indicator, the loaded indicator, you see the orange, that's the base. I cannot get that round in there. So here's the dilemma now. It's like, do I carry the 10 round magazine because I can have the flush mount fit, or do I carry the 12 round but I only have 11 rounds technically? So I'm gaining 1 round with having this much more room. Like, that's a dilemma I cannot figure out how I want to go about it. So it is what it is. I think we'll just have to keep breaking it in, and that'll probably work itself out. But as you can see, the difference between these rounds, this is just your standard 100 grain 380 ACP, and this is your 50 grain Pilgrim ammunition. The only self-defense ammo I shoot travels 1,500 feet per second. You heard that right, 1,500 feet per second in a 380 ACP. That is absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, I've reviewed this firearm before, or this ammo before. The stopping power is absolutely incredible. The less felt recoil is even better. So you combine this ammo with this firearm, unmatched. Unmatched as far as like where you're at with recoil control and your power of self-defense. So, like I said, Pilgrim ammunition, you can click my link tree to get anything you're looking for. So, let's go ahead and do our reassembly here. We're going to drop in our barrel. Everything cleaned beautifully. Double recoil spring. You do have to put a little bit of pressure on this because it does have to mount to the front of this section. So you see we're still not dropped in all the way yet. So you really got to get it in there. Actually, it had a little click too. But just for visual reference, if you see that your recoil spring is flush and straight, most likely you are set properly. Okay? So now I wanted to highlight something on the slide here that I noticed when I had this apart. So do you see how this has a section of slides on the frame here, and rails here? Excuse me, not slides, rails. Rails here on the bottom of the frame and in the rear. So you have a dual set, which helps you have better control as well. So it's not a short or not a long frame, also a short barrel, but having that gives you definite extra control over the firearm. So start from the rear of the slide, front of the frame, pull it back. You're going to pull it back to your lock position with your slide lock. Flip this back up, release the slide, and you are back in business. Do a functions check real quick. Show the trigger reset. Not too bad. See if I can let some more light in so you can see that trigger stop. See that little notch right there. Little trigger stop. Boom. Ready to go. Already feels fantastic just cleaning it. So I'm going to try this CLP. I'm going to kind of give you guys a little trade secret on how I do my slide oiling and things like that. I normally don't show those kinds of things. So just to try something a little bit different. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-break down the pistol, and I'm going to show you how I do things. So I simply put a little bit, now I've never tried this before with this oil, so let's just see how it works out. I only put about a drop on my actual recoil spring. I kind of let it just work its way down, maybe a little more. All right. And then what I'm going to do is simply oil a little bit on the rails. Put a drop on each one, let it kind of work its way in. And we're going to wipe any excess, of course, when we're done. So, and I'll show you why we wipe the excess as well. So that's it. A little bit on your rails. You're going to get it a little bit on the gun. It's okay. And I put a little bit on the recoil spring because there are buildups that happen all in this area. So having that will help. I mean, it will gunk up a little bit, but not. Trust me, it'll be better to have it than to not. So reassembly again. We're going to slide it all the way back. We're getting hung up. There we go. Bring it back. Lock. Release. Now we're going to just work the gun. And as you can probably tell, just me holding it, it's getting easier. All right, so now, see we have all our excess oil floating around. So typically, a CLP or a firearm oil is technically a layer of protectant as well. So as you can see, as it says here, for cleaning, lubricates, and protects firearms. So having that excess oil floating around is not necessarily a bad thing. So what we're going to do is take our dirty rag, as you can see from cleaning the firearm, and usually I use microfiber towels, but with this I'm not too concerned with it. And I'm just going to work all of my excess oil around on the firearm. And what that's going to do is give me a layer of protectant against the elements. So whether it be water or humidity, you know, essentially the same thing. But giving it that little scrub down, got your oil worked in, you're coating essentially the outside of the firearm with a thin layer of oil, which you're not going to feel, by the way. It will actually help protect it. So we're going to do one more pull. Make sure we don't have any splatter coming out. And there you go. The pistol literally looks brand new all over again. Just like that. You're well lubricated, you're well protected, it's clean, it will run efficiently, and what more can you ask for? So, down in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on this situation. Would you carry the 10-round magazine, or would you carry the 12-round, even if you can't carry the 12th round in it? So you got 10 rounds, 11 rounds, but you have a little extra grip, pro or con, or you have the flush mount that I can actually hold all of the ammo that it's supposed to. So back to the range, here we go. All right guys, we're back. I've got the 12 round magazine loaded up with 11 rounds in it. So we're just going to empty this mag, see if it can handle a full mag dump, just to see how we're looking, if it can handle a fast fire rate. Got a little bit of slide bite today, but that's kind of the risk of really getting up on this gun, but it's not bad. Like, it literally is just the top of my hand, not pulled any skin or anything like that. So let's drop this thing and see if it can handle it. And I would say not a problem. Well, and that will wrap up today's video on the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 380 ACP. Phenomenal pocket gun. Obviously an easily concealable firearm as well. And thank you to where we got it from. And the price, of course, is definitely affordable. So, I mean, you're not sinking in thousands or even half of $1,000 to be able to defend yourself and have a nice small package to do it. So I'm High Caliber Haymaker. Thank you for watching today's video. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Our next video is going to be on my new EDC, my everyday carry. It is a Kimber. I won't give you the model yet, but it's going to be a good one. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching this video. And get out to the range, knock out some rounds, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.